So, are you thinking about buying a house? Congratulations, you made a wise choice. I'm sorry, what's that, you say? You're not sure where to start? Well, let me offer you a suggestion. Get a buyer's agent. Just what is a buyer's agent? Do you need a buyer's agent? What does a buyer's agent do? These and other thought-provoking questions will be answered right after this. Hello and welcome. I'm Bob Weibrecht, Missouri licensed realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty Gundaker in St. Louis, Missouri since 2002. On this channel, I provide useful insights and tips on the residential real estate market. If this is something you'd like to learn more about, click that like button, share, and subscribe. I publish a new video every Wednesday, and you don't want to miss a thing. Now, on to the reason why you're here. Just what is a buyer's agent? What do they do for the home buyer? Why is it important to have one? Believe it or not, a buyer's agent is more than someone who opens doors for you so you can see the inside of a house. Yeah, it's very true. Fact can be stranger than fiction. What is a buyer's agent? A buyer's agent is a real estate professional who is licensed to represent a home buyer in their real estate transaction. A signed buyer's agency with the buyer's agent ensures that your interest in the home buying process is protected. Do you need a home buyer's agent? When you decide to make an offer on a home, you will be glad that you have a skilled buyer's agent on your side. There will be a flurry of paperwork to handle just to make the offer, and in some cases, the offer you submit may receive a counteroffer from the seller, and you need to know how to handle that. With a skilled buyer's agent, you will be one step ahead of those wishing to buy a house without an agent. The buyer's agent can tell you things such as what type of market exists, whether it's a seller's market, a balanced market, or a buyer's market. It's very important to know what type of market exists when you're making the offer. Trying to get a deal on buying a home in a seller's market will do nothing more than set you up for disappointment. Working with a buyer's agent will not only help you navigate the real estate market, but they will also help you save time and money while searching for your new home and buying it. So just what does a buyer's agent do for the buyer? They handle a number of details, most of which occur behind the scenes where the buyer doesn't see it. It's not that they're hiding their activities, it's just work that they usually do away from the buyer. Here are some of the things a buyer's agent may do to help their buyer find the right home. 1. They offer a buyer's consultation. To learn about your needs, wants, and desires in buying a home, they take you through the home buying process so you have some idea what to expect from the time you agree to work with them until the time you close on your new home. 2. They help buyers find the right property that meets their needs, wants, and desires by scheduling showings of homes that meet the buyer's criteria. 3. They advise their buyers as to the type of market and important steps to take if the buyer really wants that house. 4. They explain the 5 major negotiating points in a real estate contract, which are price, terms, dates, inclusions and exclusions, and contingencies. 5. They help the buyer write an offer appropriate to the market using the 5 major negotiating points and present it to the seller's agent. If necessary, the buyer's agent assists in negotiating a counteroffer on the buyer's behalf. 6. Once the home is under contract, the buyer's agent explains the due diligence process, the timelines, and what the buyer needs to do. 7. They will recommend other professionals to help with the process. Recommendations may include loan officers, real estate attorneys, if required in your area, title companies, and more. Now, this sounds like a lot to keep track of, especially when you're working full-time, have a family to care for, searching for a new home, preparing to move, and many more life activities. But fortunately for most buyers, having a buyer's agent on your side can ease the process of finding and buying the right home. They will handle the details, and their commission is usually paid from the commission the listing agent receives from the seller. So you may be thinking at this point, okay, doesn't the listing agent know how to do all of this? Can't I work with the listing agent and get the house at a lower price? Yes, you could work with the listing agent, but getting a house at a lower price depends on a lot of factors, such as the market conditions, the seller's need to sell, how long the home's been on the market, and many more. An important point to remember is that the listing agent is representing the seller and they have a fiduciary responsibility to the seller, while a buyer's agent with a signed buyer's agency agreement are legally bound to help the buyer. Although some areas, such as here in the St. Louis market, allows for what is called dual agency, in which the agent can represent both the seller and the buyer. In this capacity, the agent is not allowed to provide any information which may affect the decision process on either party. Many states, and Missouri is one of them, require a disclosure of dual agency to be signed by both the buyer and the seller, so both parties know who is representing them and what the agent's role is. While we're on this topic of agency, there is a third agency called a transaction broker. A transaction broker acts as a neutral resource to help facilitate the sale. They provide limited representation to a buyer, a seller, or both parties, and do not represent any party in a fiduciary capacity, meaning they cannot act in the buyer or seller's interest. This is a good reason why it's in your best interest to sign on with a skilled buyer's agent to represent you in the home buying process. For example, if you were to visit an open house, the agent you meet there may be the listing agent, an agent on the listing agent's team, or possibly a buyer's agent who is there helping the listing agent. It's in your best interest to find out who you're speaking with and what role they have. Did you know that if you divulge knowledge about your pressing need to find a home because your lease is about to expire and later decide to submit an offer on that house, it's very possible what you said to the open house agent could be used against you by the agent sharing the information with the seller or the listing agent when your offer is being considered. The agent is allowed to do this because the open house agent may have a signed agreement with the seller, and as I mentioned before, it's their fiduciary responsibility to the home seller. This is less likely to happen if you have a buyer's agent who is helping you. If you have an agreement and you told your agent about your pressing need to find a home, they know this information is private, confidential, and not to discuss it with the listing agent. Okay, you're thinking that sounds good, but what about the representative at a new home construction site we visited? Typically, those representatives represent the builder and the builder's interest, not yours. If you're considering buying a new construction home, you could bring your buyer's agent who will look out for your interest. In most cases, they will need to be registered with the builder prior to making an offer, and in some cases, on your first visit. If not, the builder can and may exclude your agent from the deal. So how do you find a buyer's agent? You can visit several open houses and speak with the agent there. Even though the agent at that open house may be the listing agent for that house, they could be a buyer's agent for you in finding a different home, or possibly a dual agent on that home. Or you can visit or call a real estate office. Most real estate offices have a duty agent who answers calls and helps people who walk in. Or you can ask for recommendations from someone who has used a buyer's agent to buy a home. Don't forget to get recommendations from your mortgage lender. And of course, you could fill out an online form on a real estate website and see your response. When you find a buyer's agent to work with, in most areas, they will ask you to sign an exclusive buyer's agency agreement, which outlines the agent's services to you and their compensation. This agreement means that the buyer's agent will be your sole representative in buying a house, and that you as a buyer promise not to work with another buyer's agent. If you feel the buyer's agent is not living up to your expectations, the exclusive buyer's agency agreement can be canceled in most cases. Ask about their cancellation policy prior to signing on. So just how is the buyer's agent paid? In most cases, the buyer's agent compensation will come from the agreement the listing agent made with the seller. Depending on the brokerage your buyer's agent works with, there may be an additional commission due from the buyer to the brokerage when the sale is closed. Now you know what a buyer's agent is, but do you know how to hire one? No? Well, you're in luck. Click up here because I did a video called 8 Steps to Buying a House. Step 1, hire a buyer's agent. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and tell me when you're planning on buying your first house. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every Wednesday about St. Louis living. Thanks again for watching, and as always, make it a great day.